So we're back here on another Couch Coach Live. We're here once again under lights here on a Wednesday night. What's going on, JB?
Nothing much. What's going on?
Not much, man. Chilling. And we got our cousins in the building, the hoopers. What's going on, fellas?
Yeah, what's going on, guys? What's going on?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's the holidays. Family gotta click up. So you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So man, we gotta definitely dive into the December NBA progress report. So we try and do this monthly. So man, we definitely got a lot to talk about tonight. So the first topic I really want to discuss with you guys is this NBA versus COVID. So obviously, pretty much we've just had so many outbreaks. We had like 90 players currently that are in the COVID-19 health and safety protocols. We got the Nets and the Blazers was postponed. Both of those teams are struggling trying to get guys in. The Bulls and the Raptors game for tonight is actually postponed as well. You look at like with the Nets situation, no KD, Harden, and your boy Kyrie fresh off, and then get be on the list. I'm like, yo, this is wild. And then another team that's ravaged as well, the Cleveland Cavaliers with 8 players in protocol, and then also the Mavericks with having Luka Doncic on there as well. So, fellas, the question I really want to ask: should the league suspend the season after Christmas? I'm gonna go with you first, JB. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think this is kind of complicated because I think that here's the thing. These people who are on protocol, are they testing positive for the virus or is it just close contact? I think that's one thing. I think the second thing is that, like, if I'm not mistaken, like, I mean, I don't know, man. I think that there's a lot of recency bias when people discuss this, but last year you had teams that were shutting down for like a week and a half. I mean, yeah, I know that the Nets have currently shut down, but I don't think so, man. Like, I think the NHL is a bit different because you saw that they paused, and that has to do with the fact that they have so many teams in Canada. So I would say no.
Yeah. What about you, Fresh?
That's a good point with the NHL, like having so many teams in Canada, but I don't know if they should or if they shouldn't. I don't think that they are. I think the NBA and really kind of the world period is past. Like a lot of pausing and shutdown, and the people are just trying to work and just play the games and figure it out on the fly, honestly. So, like I said, it is a complicated situation because it is how many close contact to actual positive cases. So, but I just can't see it happening if the NBA shutting down again.
Yeah. What about you, W? What's your thoughts?
No, I don't think the NBA gonna shut down. I'm like Fresh has made the point time and time again. Use the G League that you have. That's what it's there for.
Yep.
You see all these. It's not like it's just young players in the G League. It's the best in the G League as well. So I don't think there's a real reason to shut down. I don't think they want to shut down. I hate to say this is what it is, and maybe 2-3 years from now we get to where it's not a thing. But I don't think Adam Silver gonna shut down anything, like not realistically.
Yeah, because I know we talked about it a little bit last week because it was kind of starting. I think at that time that's something when Chicago had their outbreak, and obviously they're good now for the time being.
And I think another thing that we have to discuss too is that, like, if the people are getting COVID, are they asymptomatic or are they getting sick? Because I mean, Jason Tatum got really sick last year. Like Jaylen Brown got really sick last year. It seems like like DeMar DeRozan came back on Sunday like a gangbuster. He didn't miss a beat. I mean, he gave the Lakers the business. I mean, like I think I'm just kind of tired of this, man, because I think that like people are making it such like a black and white issue, and I think that there are a lot of things that you have to consider before even deciding where you should shut down or where you should not shut down. That's just my point, man. I'm kind of tired of it because it's not just black and white, man. There are so many layers that people are not really even considering, and the media is not even considering it as well. So
yeah, and because last week we looked at it more so it was the beginning of it. Now it's getting a little bit worse compared to last week when we kind of discussed it last week. And because I was saying, well, we know for sure Christmas is going to be postponed. And you see it now that they're kind of pivoting as far as certain matchups might be flexed out. The ABC window, it could be a little flexed out. But as far as the cancel, like you said, I doubt the NBA because they've already kind of lost that money from 2020. There's no way that they're gonna try to have another shutdown again. Like you said, the G League getting those what do they call it, the hardship deals? Hardship exemptions, something like that. So you give guys a lot of guys are getting opportunities to play in the league, and like you said, it's just I definitely don't think they're going to. It's too much money involved, and I think because the Warriors, I know Toronto, they're minimizing their spectators, like they only give like 50% of the fans, and I don't know if my memory serves correct. I don't know if Golden State is doing the same. If I remember, I don't know if it was Golden State or was another team, but I'm not sure. But I know for certain Toronto has a limit, has as far as their capacity wise. And I think that's probably going to be the only drastic change potentially for maybe a few weeks and kind of let it die down. But as far as what the players concerned, they're going to play. They're going to figure a way. And remember, they was even talking about if guys are tested positive and then if they were asymptomatic, that they could potentially come off the list. Now, I remember they were talking about that. They were proposing that thing. We were talking about that last week too. We're like, so there's no way they're gonna shut this thing down.
And I just also think that do we really need to test people if they're asymptomatic? Like, I mean, based off of all the information I've gotten, when you're asymptomatic and you have you don't have any symptoms, you're not as contagious. So I mean, I think that's the thing that people have to look at. How many of these players are actually testing positive for COVID is my question, because you're saying protocol. And as far as I'm concerned, I think protocol could just be like, oh, DeMar DeRozan's wife, she maybe her sister got it, or something like that. So I mean, close contact. So what are we doing? Like, I mean, that's my question.
Yeah,
that's a good question, definitely.
Yeah, and that's the thing where it's just like in that fact, good example. Like when I did one of the shows that what I do Monday. Overreaction Monday. So shout out to our guy Mo, and we were talking about it off air because we was thinking to ourselves because asymptomatic is kind of one of the things where that's like anybody could have it, but obviously because due to the testing and everything, so it's one of the things where it's like we kind of not question the validity of it, but it's just like it's a ton of people who are walking around here positive, but they're asymptomatic. So that's the thing where it draws that line, but this is that's just the nature of the beast and how it is, and like you said, I think we knew kind of the spike. I knew the NFL was trying to do things before Thanksgiving to kind of stop the transmission of it. Right. So, and I think it's gonna be something we're probably you'll see another wave. January, potentially early February.
Right. Super Bowl All-Star break.
Super Bowl, Cleveland about to be a super spreader. So fellas, the next topic I want to talk about is our boy Kyrie Irving. So our boy Kyrie Irving is back. All I know, hey, y'all better behave. That's all I gotta say. All right now, y'all. All right now.
I'm cool.
Right.
I ain't gonna do nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing to nobody.
I know y'all know what I'm talking about, but y'all good. It's all good, brother. Hey. We speak. You speak. Everybody speak your mind. It ain't no judgment. Everybody cool with it. So that's the beauty about the group, man.
No,
but so Kyrie Irving is back. So he's deemed now as a part-time player. So obviously he can't play in the state of New York and also in Toronto. Right. So my biggest thing is what impact do you guys think Kyrie Irving will have as a part-time player? I'm gonna go with you first, JB. Your thoughts?
I mean, right now, he helps them out. They've been decimated by COVID. I mean, I don't know, man. It's kind of an interesting thing because he definitely could help them, but he could definitely also hurt their chemistry. Now, I do think with him being on more of a veteran team, because the chemistry with Boston 2018, 2019 was all kind of messed up. They were a bit of a younger team, but I think with this team, it won't matter as much. But I don't know, this isn't the MLB, man. This isn't like, oh, you're gonna pitch game 1, game 4, game 7 of the series or whatever. Like you would hope that your point guard, like a guy who's an all-star, could play for you, like not just on the road, but home games as well. So like, I mean, like I don't know. Just my bet is that like at some point or another he's gonna get the vaccine. I think that's gonna happen at some point or another. But like he helps them, but in the playoffs, does he help them that much though? If he can only play on road games, I'm not sure.
Oh, that's fair. All that is fair. That was definitely fair. I just want to say I did say Kyrie was going to play this year first and foremost. But I think when you add a player like Kyrie, I'm going to go ahead and take this real quick. But I think when you add a player like Kyrie, who at any moment can not only get you 27, but he can go out and get you 35. He can get you 7, 8 threes, some 9, 10, 11 assist game. To a team that needs steady guard play, especially when James Harden. We don't know what's wrong with James Harden right now. We can all say James Harden not playing his best. I think that's an honest opinion right now. So when you add a player like Kyrie, and I think we forget, you say, oh, he can only play on the road. Think about how many times they're going to go through a 5-game road trip, a 5-game road trip, a 7-game road trip, a 6-game road trip. Maybe they say, well, we are a veteran team, so maybe we don't have to stay in first place. Maybe they go and get 5th place. Now he can play 4 road games, and you get him 4 out of the 7 games. I'm not gonna say if he's gonna get the vaccine or not because I understand why he doesn't want to get it. I understand the background and all that. I'm not gonna get into it because it's his personal business. But I think outside of chemistry, but when you're playing with your friends, that chemistry is gonna be there. It's always like him and Kevin Durant are friends. James Harden's gonna fit in there in some kind of way, and just adding a veteran guy who all the young players like as well. Like Nick Claxton loves him. Cam Thomas, like I don't think Kyrie disrupts his team, and it's just adding another 27, basically 90, 50, 40 player in your team. It can't hurt, especially on the road.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think the issue doesn't come up into the playoffs, honestly, because they're not going to finish 5th because they got the best player.
They not.
The issue don't come into the playoffs and if you potentially have a game 7 at home and he's not there. I don't think the chemistry is going to hurt because everybody knows who to give the ball to if it's an issue. Kevin Durant is the undisputed best player on their team, no matter who's on the team. So it's not a power struggle there. We know that James wants to facilitate more, and Kyrie's going to fit in as a scorer. So I don't think the chemistry, especially during the regular season, is really the issue. It's just really when we get
playoffs.
Into playoffs. Yeah. Because if you do got to play game 7 at home against Giannis, I mean, it would be nice to have Kyrie out there on the floor.
For sure. I definitely understand.
And they're in first place now, so unless they play the Suns or the Warriors, they're going to be at home. But I from the start didn't really have a problem with him being a part-time player. I just always wondered how the playoffs will work. And initially, the regular season, but he's cleared to practice. So, I mean, which the NBA, they only practice so much, even before COVID. So, I'm not worried about the chemistry of the regular season. It's just during the playoffs. But adding Kyrie clearly will elevate the team. The Nets are really good, but I don't think they're as deep as some people make them out to be. I just think Kevin Durant's really good. James Harden is solid. LaMarcus is good. You got Patty, then everybody else. Whoever has a good night tonight plays, honestly. Yeah. So Kyrie helps them. So it gets tricky in the playoffs, though.
And maybe I don't know. Before you go, Chris, maybe he can talk to Antonio Brown and Evander Kane about getting like a fake vaccine card. See if that works out. I just had to get that one in. I'm done.
Adam Silver might let that fly for real. If Roger Goodell only gave AB 3 games. Kyrie will get a slap on the wrist.
Right.
Right there, like whatever.
Adam Silver will be like, oh, Kyrie's good for the league, and we made a lot of. Oh, okay, Kyrie, I'm going to fine you $25,000. It's okay.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah. That might be a good little plan, but pay the chef though. If you doing some dirt, pay everybody now.
No, that's it, right?
Let that be a dirt learning lesson. If you do dirt, pay your debt. Right. But I mean, like you said, I don't necessarily have a problem with him, being a part-time player. Like you said, to me, when it comes to his stance and stuff, that's on him. He's a grown man. He got to do what's best for him. At the end of the day, this man got, we all got consequences to our actions. So hey, if he wants to do that, that's cool on him. Like you said, and I don't have a problem with him, playing road games. I would hope that hopefully by the time, and like you said, the biggest question mark is gonna be the playoffs. Because obviously, like you're saying, if you have a game 7 in the Eastern Conference, he's not going to be playing potentially. But I know I was kind of holding out on the new mayor of the new mayor of New York City. I cannot believe I forgot Eric Adams. Eric Adams, yeah, my guy, yeah. So I was hoping maybe potentially that that could be lifted. But I know I don't think he has plans of lifting that ban initially. So who's to say what can happen in April? Hopefully it can be lifted. But like you said, I don't necessarily have a problem with what Kyrie is doing. Hey, everybody has to make their own decision. It shouldn't be forced. Like
Hey.
That's what. Hey. I'm just saying. I'm not saying right.
I'm right there with you, man.
All right. Hey, I got a car and mine's legit. So I mean, hey, and some people don't, and that's cool. And that I live your life. Hey, that's what we are. It's no left right around here. We in the middle. So you know what I'm saying. I just hope that the ban could be potentially lifted with that, because I don't think that makes sense. Right, just that stipulation as far as the state of New York is concerned with that. But and I think, like you said, when they go on those, and the continuity, he'll get that back with the guys, and they had a long road trip, which would be now.
And apparently, even before all the players started, before the Nets had to postpone games, it said that KD and James Harden kind of went to them and said that they need to bring Kyrie back anyway. So they kind of was trying to make it happen anyway.
Right. Yeah, and they're trying to, and hopefully they can, and it'll work, because like you said, it's not a young team. It's a veteran team. They all cool with them, so it's not gonna be. There's no rift in the locker room. That's not like, I'm mad at them because of this, so this and the third. Everybody cool with each other. So, and everybody understand his,
exactly,
his plight. But yep.
And they all understand that when it gets tough, give the ball to the tall, skinny guy. When you got that,
correct.
You got that, you make it a little better, because there's no power struggle. We know who the best player on this team is.
Yep, and we know who will take that last shot. Right.
Yeah.
Sure. This ain't Cleveland. My bad. Speaking of that, man, what in the hell is going on with the Los Angeles Lakers, guys? So the Lakers are coming in. They are 16-16. They are the 7th seed in the Western Conference. Obviously, yesterday they got thrashed by the Phoenix Suns. Yep. And we know AD is out for 4 to 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. Vogel's on the protocol. That's another one. So, fellas, what's wrong with the Lakers, and how can it be fixed? I'm gonna go with you first, JB. Your thoughts on the Lakers?
I mean, what? We're bashing ARP's favorite team.
Hey.
I mean, the biggest problem is in their front office. I mean, what's the GM's name again? I always forget his name. Kobe's best friend, Rob Pelinka. Okay, here's the thing. Look, here's the thing I'm gonna say, man. And people aren't gonna like what I'm gonna have to say about this or whatever. Okay, what did the Lakers do? What have the Lakers done in the last 11 or 12 years other than be a big market? What have they done? Answer the question for me. They lucked into no. They won the championship because they are a big market. They're LA Lakers, and they basically lucked into LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I mean, okay, let's just. I'm gonna, before I get into how we can fix them or whatever, let's just take them out of LA and let's put them in Oklahoma City. They would be a freaking dumpster fire. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Put Rob Pelinka, just swap the franchises. Put the Lakers in Oklahoma City for like 5 years and put the Oklahoma City Thunder in LA for 5 years. And we just keep the front offices the same. I have a feeling that the Lakers, if they moved to Oklahoma City, they would not exist in 5 years. That's just all I'm going to say. How can you fix them? I don't know if you can fix them. I mean, like, I think the team is broken. I mean, like, Russ is starting to play a little better, but like, I never really liked the whole Russ LeBron like connection. I think that when you're playing with LeBron, you want LeBron to be your primary ball handler. You want to surround him by shooters. Russ is not a shooter. Russ is not a spot up shooter. He's not a good shooter. He's my guy. I mean, like his shooting has gotten worse, man. Don't you remember like back in like 15 and 16 when he could make a wide open mid range shot? Have you seen some of the like shots that he misses and how horrible they are? That's one thing. And then the second thing is Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. Well, we got into remember Chris, remember Ballers? Deshaun was arguing with me about like Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has only played 74 times in a year, twice. He's injury prone. I mean, and at this point of LeBron's career, he can't really carry a team like he could. This is not like 31, 32-year-old LeBron James. This is like 36. I'm going to be 37 like next week. I mean, he can only do so much or whatever. Basically, when they signed Anthony Davis was supposed to be the guy on the team, and he's injury prone, and he hasn't played the same like he has in the bubble. I don't think you can fix this team. I mean, I think this team it's an older team, and when you surround your team with a bunch of older players, a lot of stuff has to go right. You can't really have injuries, and if that doesn't happen, I don't think it can be fixed. I think that they're looking at getting knocked out in the first round again.
Yeah. I'm not mad at them. What's wrong with the Lakers are they look like LeBron looks like Jordan with the Wizards. The only difference is when Jordan came to the Wizards, he wasn't left with a lot of assets to trade for another top 10 player in the NBA, and the season then shut down and they go to a vote. The Lakers, they came into the year with a lot of, like, they started with injuries. Ariza was out to start, and Nunn, and Wayne Ellington, and everybody was out, and then LeBron was hurt. We, like he said, we never knew if Westbrook and LeBron was going to work anyway. Pelinka said, he basically said they got Westbrook because LeBron was old and they didn't want to put such a load on him. So they wanted another facilitator on the team because remember, they had a trade. I actually remember people reporting the Buddy Hield trade, and then like 10 minutes later, like, oh, no. They traded for Westbrook because at the last minute they found out that they could get him. But Buddy Hield probably made more sense for the team because LeBron should be playing point guard. When they won the championship, LeBron played point guard. But I get they wanted to lessen his load, but you could have made his load better by putting a better fitting team around him.
And how about like keeping Caruso as well? I mean, you basically parted ways with Caruso like $10 million? Like what's $10 million like 4 years? I mean, I just don't like what the front office has been doing. I don't think. I mean, here's my thing. It looks like Pelinka was looking at like 2012, the NBA season. Is like, man, this will be a great roster. Let me get Carmelo Anthony. Let me get Russell Westbrook. You know, like he put together a team that would have been really good in 2012.
Well, Melo's not the problem because Melo's been really good.
No. I don't think he's the problem either. I mean, but I think that when he's playing 30, when he's playing 30 minutes a game and he's a disaster like he is on defense. I mean, he can be part of the problem. I mean, he does have good games sometimes.
All year because you got to have somebody to make the shots for him. But the problem, they should have made the trade for Buddy Hield because Westbrook and LeBron just really don't fit. So
I agree.
On Melo, that's. Depending on Melo and Anthony Davis to be the best two players not working.
That's terrible. I don't think I got enough front court there. I think
that too. They thought DeAndre Jordan was going to
play. I think
DeAndre Jordan played in 3 years and they thought he was going to be able to
play. Yeah, like I said, 2012, they were looking at 2012 statistics and it was like, oh man, DeAndre Jordan, man, it'll be great. Mind you, he's looked like garbage.
He's definitely looked bad. Like they took the only reason he's in the rotation now is because Anthony Davis is hurt. But they just don't have enough front court depth. They don't have a team sustained to play 48 minutes consistently with the way. I know that sounds crazy, but they don't have a team that's built to play a whole game with the way their roster and the offense is built. Their defense is good, but it's like their defense is good. Okay, their offense is just as bad as their offense is. That's how good their defense is. So they're an average team, and that's what they equals out to. And I know it sounds crazy because he's been, I think, I'm pretty sure over the last 2 weeks he's averaging like 33, 34 points. LeBron is old. And there's nothing wrong with that. And because he's such an athletic specimen, it doesn't look like he's old because he will come down and get some dunks. It's like, oh, man, he's been doing that for the last 15 years. He has, but he's getting older. So when teams take off on him, he ain't got that second wind to keep running with them young bulls. Like, he don't.
It's funny you say when teams take off because I literally watched like 3 plays this week where usually – players shy away from LeBron because they think he's gonna get the chase out dunk, and they just dunk.
They just dunk it. Like,
oh, my boy, Kobe White. Kobe White.
Usually,
Kobe White.
They do a reverse or something. They know LeBron there. They like he did.
But he doesn't have that. I'm not saying he's not still one. Like, you don't have the game plan. Like, oh, we're playing Lakers. LeBron is out there.
He Jordan for the Wizards,
and that's cool.
Jordan would have got Anthony Davis. He would have won a championship too. He Jordan for the Wizards.
But
he's been hurt more the last couple of years, and he's probably missed more games the last 2 years than he did his whole career.
And that's a fact. Yeah.
And
since the beginning of him coming to LA, man, he's been a bit injury prone. I mean, the first year he had the groin where he missed like a month and a half, 2 months with that. So I mean, like he's like Charles Barkley always say, father time, undefeated, man. Sad but true.
Right, he's just such a great player that his decline is a tad bit slower offensively.
Yeah.
Defensively, he's done. He just can't. He just can't defend like he wants to. Like I seen
Mark put up on him the other night, like he wasn't even there.
So
yeah,
they have to figure out a way to get younger but better at the same time. And I don't know if they have the assets to get younger, better players. And the younger players they have to be consistent. Taylor Horton has to play better. I know everybody thinks he's this all-star, but he isn't. Malik Monk, who I love to death, has to be more consistent. Russell Westbrook, who isn't a younger player, he just has to be better. I think we all can admit that.
I think, though, it's talks of them considering trading Russ. So it's a matter if they're going to just do it. Because, of course, they might not want to because if you trade Russ, it's like, oh, you just traded for him. Now you trading him. What the hell is going on? But sometimes you just got to do it. If it don't work, it don't work.
No, that's absolutely true. And I get that. And I'm not even disputing that. But it's always, we always ask, well, who are you trading him for? Like, he's too good for that trade.
But my question, who's trading for him? I mean, he's got 2 years left on that contract at $91 million. Who wants that?
They're in a tough position where they're in win this year and next year or next year mode. And I don't think they have a win this year or next year team. And Frank Vogel's probably going to get fired in the offseason because I think Frank Vogel. I'm not trying to be mean here. I think Frank. Oh no, I like Frank Vogel too. But I think Frank Vogel, like when it's a protocol on purpose. I think he went into protocol on purpose. He's a man. Fuck this, man. I need a week away from this team. He's just sitting in the house chilling. Like I can't do that.
Right. Right. Yeah, because the biggest thing is trading for Russ. Because you got to think about it. The asset that the trade partner team has to give away. And I think that's kind of the Lakers' biggest issue, too, when they traded. They got the Wizards got a nice haul for Russell Westbrook.
They did.
And people don't you got Kyle Kuzma, you got Trez, KCP. Who else was in that trade? I think it was them. Who else was in that trade? I think that was it. That's the main pieces. The main pieces. And you think to yourself, who's gonna trade for Russell Westbrook at this point?
I'm not
at this point, right? Because, like you said, he's been traded every year. So
every
it's almost
year for the last 3 years,
right. So it's just and then you look at just any other team that you would. I don't even think that you can even look at a team and be like, who would really want him? Who look him as a piece?
Maybe Boston, but what is Boston trade for Westbrook to where it's worth?
And I don't
for Westbrook.
And not only has he been traded the last 3 years, I'm gonna throw this out, and I'm not putting all this on you, but if you look at the teams he was traded from, all 3 of those situations, well, we really don't know because we because last year was kind of weird with Washington, but you look at Oklahoma City and you look at Houston, and then you look at LA now. All three of those situations have become toxic. They become toxic, and I'm not saying he's the only reason for it, but I mean, you can't keep on there's a correlation between him being on the team and the situation becoming toxic. Like that situation in Oklahoma City was really toxic. Some of the stuff that they were doing, and basically Dame did the goodbye to him. And then you look at what happened in Houston in the bubble. Like, I'm not saying that he plays really hard. He's a very good athlete or whatever, but like, I don't think he's good for your team chemistry. And that's what I'm going to put out like that. And I think Laker fans fell in love with the fact that he was a big name. And I think that you didn't need the big name. You have LeBron James and you have like Anthony Davis. You just needed to fill your roster out with shooters.
Yeah, man. I agree with that.
Like I told my boy who a Cavs fan, Bron coming home, bro. Bron going home. Bron coming home. I'm telling you, it starts All-Star Weekend.
Don't do it.
Bro, he going back, man.
Just retire. Don't just retire, bro. Just retire. Don't do it.
That boy going back home to Cleveland.
Not a third time.
Yeah.
No.
He going back, bro. Like, ain't no way, shoot.
Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. I'm already disappointed. Don't do it, bro.
right. But,
oh, that's right. He's a free agent at the end of the year.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And you got to think about it. And then with Anthony Davis injuries, because like you said, he's supposed to be the man at this point. This supposed to be his prime. Right. This supposed to be his prime because he's not even he's like 27, 28 years old.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And I think 28 going on 40, but I mean, let's
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I be thinking like he just age is Braun.
No,
I think he would be Braun age, right? But yeah, I'm telling you, bro. Hey, Braun going back. I tell you, the All-Star Weekend. He gonna start kind of get himself acclimated. But yeah,
he gonna give his 2 weeks notice. He ain't gonna finish out the 2 weeks.
Exactly. Right, he going back. Watch. But yeah. So before we talk about the Hawks, man, let's pay some bills real quick, fellas. So this week, Couch Coach Labs brought to you by the good folks at Built Bar. It's a truly standout among protein bars with its exceptional nutritional profile and so many delicious flavors. Use our promo code OFFTHEBALL, which provide you, your friends, and your family with a 10% off discount. Head over to BuiltBar.com. Use our promo code OFFTHEBALL. So it's a little subject that's going to hit close to home, you know? Bruh, what is going on with the Hawks, man? So we know that Atlanta Hawks currently are 14-15, and they are currently the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference. Home team. What's going on? I'm going with the fellas first. I'm going with you first. Fresh, what happened?
Too much lemon pepper, man. Too much lemon pepper. The Hawks came into the season and they did the number one thing I told them not to do at the end of last year and at the beginning of this year. You can't ride on last season thinking that matters. No matter what you think about it, it's slightly easier to win when teams kind of overlook you. They had some things working for their favor, and they took advantage of it because the Hawks have a really good team. So they came into the year kind of feeling themselves. They've also had some injuries and things like that, but it's been put out there when the best player on the team is saying
he's bored,
the regular season is boring.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
It is boring until you don't win enough games and don't make the playoffs. So they come into the year and the focus just wasn't where it was supposed to be. It's different when you're the 100. They were supposed to come into the year focused and ready to run through the regular season as a team that was put up at the top of the East with the other teams. It's usually that younger team, which the Hawks are the younger team, that wins during the regular season because you got the incentive to do it. You could play the games. The Hawks were really deep and things like that. But our defense has been terrible. Our second unit has been terrible. Nate's rotations have been bad. So it's just it's a lot of different things to fix. And there's also been injuries. DeAndre Hunter's been out. Bogdanovich has been out. Gallinari this time at the end of the year. The rookie Big O, he missed almost all last year, and he's been hurt this year too. So the injuries play a part too. some people think it's a disconnect with the team, maybe not listening to Nate, which we heard last year with Lloyd Pierce. So, and you kind of forget last year the Hawks went through their growing pains also too, because they start off hot and they go through these struggles, and then we revert to this game of Trey shooting 25 shots a game, and it looks good because he has 40 points, but nobody else is getting over 10 shots, so it just hurts the overall team. But we need to play better defense. They need to insert some youth into the second unit, and the second unit just needs to play better overall.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all that. Injuries has killed us over the last few years, but Trae Young, 10 games into the season, coming out and saying the regular season is bored, is why we're in this predicament. Because now, what are you playing for in the regular season? Because clearly you're not playing to go to the playoffs. So we know Trae Young can get his numbers, and he can get them when he wants. That's not the problem. The problem is he's not involving John Collins. They got to involve John Collins. And I said this the other day because Lou Williams is second on the team in usage rated, which is terrible for him to be coming off the bench. But I don't think they have enough balance in the offense, and it always happens around. It's happened around this time last year, happened around this time the year before, where I'm not saying Trae is worried about getting his numbers to be an all-star and all of that, but Trae is coming.
He got to be an all-star.
He got to be an all-star. So Trae, they just got a lot of bad offensive chemistry going on right now, and they're not playing a lick of defense, which was also the problem. So Nate just got to stay in their ear consistently to make them understand that these games are important, because these games build the good habits that win you championships in the playoffs and win you playoff series consistently. And we don't want to be fighting for our lives at the end of the regular season for an 11th or 10th spot in the wild card play-in game, because we didn't take November, December, January seriously, because we was ready to get to the fun part of the season whenever that starts.
And to say the regular season is really immature and it's stupid, honestly, because I mean, if you don't win the regular season, you don't play in the playoffs, so it don't even make sense to even think that way.
Oh, for sure.
All right, JB, your thoughts on the Hawks?
Well, I kind of had them as the team that I thought was going to take a step back this year. I think I had them like maybe as my 5th or my 6th seed. I think the biggest thing is they just need to stay healthy. I mean, the same thing happened last year. They had a lot of injuries. They were finally able to get help. And here's my thing. I think that Nate McMillan got a bit too much credit last year. Like, Lloyd Pierce got killed. And, like, look, I have qualms with Lloyd Pierce as a coach. But I think that basically he kind of got the short end of the stick because there were a lot of injuries that they were dealing with, and then Nate takes over and they finally get healthy. And I'm not really a huge fan of Nate McMillan. I think that I don't think he's a horrible coach, but I just think that he's so. His rotations have always been a big thing with me. Where in Indiana, like, so I remember in 2018 when the Pacers were going against the Cavs, I really thought the Pacers should have won that series, but he just did some funky stuff with his rotations, and the Cavs ended up beating them in the first round. But my thing is this, man, like you need for Gallinari to stay healthy. You need Bogdanovich to stay healthy, and just losing DeAndre Hunter, man, that's huge, man. He's such a good defender. He's a really smart guy, has a high IQ, very, very, very good defender, and he's a very good shooter too. So I mean, when you're missing guys like that, it hurts. But one of the things that I find bothersome is just them losing these leads in the fourth quarter. Like you expect this from a young team, and I understand that they're a young team, but they're a young team with playoff experience. Yep. So I feel like they shouldn't be. Yeah, you're gonna blow. It's an 82 game season, man. You're gonna blow some games that are just like gut punches, but they've lost quite a few this year already. Like at the Philly game a few weeks ago on ESPN was one. They only scored like 10 points in the fourth quarter, which is unacceptable, man. Like you have that kind of talent on your team. Trae Young, like, get to the fucking foul line. Then I saw like maybe. What was it, like about a week and a half ago? They lost the home game against Houston, where they let Houston outscore them. Yeah, I mean, you can't lose games like that. Those are games that you have to win. And I'm just gonna throw this out here. Maybe you shouldn't have given Nate McMillan the head coaching job. Like, I'm just gonna throw this out there, and I know that like I'm a huge Rick Carlisle fan, but like I think maybe you don't give Nate that job. And I understand that there's a lot of outrage because he got them to the conference finals, but maybe you give that job to somebody like a Rick Carlisle. I think that if Rick Carlisle was with him, he wouldn't be doing some of the crazy stuff with the rotations that Nate McMillan does. And his teams generally they do a really good job of defending as well too. So I don't know if Nate was the right guy for the job. I think that he got, and you saw this happen. I know different sport, but I've seen it happen in the NHL before, where an interim coach comes in, the team does really well in the playoffs, and they give the coach the job, and you're like, maybe they shouldn't have gave this coach this job. And I'm thinking the same thing about Nate. Like, and I like Nate. I think that Nate's he's okay, but I mean, like, is he a championship contending coach? Is he a championship caliber coach? I don't think he is.
That's fair. No, that's about it.
Yeah, and I agree 100% with the team last year. Like, it was such a disconnect with Lloyd Pierce. It was easy to scapegoat him, but Nate did get the fortune of he got all the healthy players, and then
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely agree with that.
Yeah, but got a good interesting matchup on Saturday. You know, the one that we've been anticipating for a minute. You know, Hawks and Knicks. You know,
I got one problem with this matchup: the Knicks did not be at home because they did not win that series.
Yeah, it should be. It should be
in Atlanta.
They should.
Yeah. I just want to see Trae Young just like taunt like the Knicks fans. I just love that. Like, I just think that if there's a really good light-skinned player, just have him going against the Knicks in the playoffs. Trae Young's the shorter version of Reggie Miller. Just have him like giving it to Spike Lee or whatever. Like, have that happen like once every 15 years. That makes the NBA more entertaining.
Yeah, I loved it because, like, especially in the playoffs when they was like booing him, and he's all, you know, you see everybody behind him against him. And he just doing his thing, I was like, yeah, he's arrived. Yeah, he's arrived. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see what we got here next, fellas. So we had the NBA. We definitely way past the quarter mark of the season. So who has been your biggest overachiever this season? I'm gonna go with you first. Fresh, what you got?
My biggest overachiever is, and I don't even really mean this in a bad way, but it's the Cavs, honestly, because the Cavs are legit really good, and I think if they take it lightly, they can win a series in the playoff, at least one, because their defense is on point. But I think the Cavs are fifth right now. Like, who saw they coming fifth? They're top, I know for a fact, top 5 in defense, might be top 3 in defense. They have 2 players that look like they could be all-stars. Not that they're going to get 2 all-stars, but they got 2 players in Garland and Jared Allen, both playing all-star basketball. I think Mobley is leading a lot of the Rookie of the Year trackers or whatever. So I just think the Cavs like being this good, but then, you know, looking at their roster up and down, a lot of stuff makes sense to me of why they're good. I mean, they got good size in their starting lineup. Mobley's a really good defensive player. He's going to contend for Defensive Player of the Year in his career. But then on the bench, they got good vets coming off the bench with Rubio and Love. Kevin Love decided he wanted to play basketball this year. And Jerry Austin. So the Cavs really have a solid team. And JB Bickerstaff, though he's not a elite coach, he does usually coach quality basketball. So the Cavs is my biggest overachiever.
Yeah, big time. What you got, W?
I definitely second that Cavs being the biggest overachiever. Once again, not the disrespect or in a bad way, but nobody saw them being in 5th. Darius Garland is looking like he's a future top 5 or 6 point guard. Jared Allen is him, and Darius Garland in the pick and roll is amazing. Let's just start. I'm going to start right there. Evan Mobley seems to be the next great power forward or center, whichever one he sticks at. Kevin Love, Ricky Rubio off the bench, Jetty Osman, Isaac Okoro has filled in good for Colin Sexton, who, when they add him back next year as a 25-point per game scorer, they're going to be scary. But they could, like I say, they could sneak up team in the playoffs in the series because, A, they're going to have great point guard play from Darius Garland. B, their defense is going to be stout between Evan Mobley and Jared Allen defending the rim. And they got shooting everywhere. Garland can shoot, Mobley can shoot, Lauri Markkanen can shoot. Kevin Love can shoot. Ricky Rubio, as his career keeps going, is become a knockdown shooter. So it's just they're gonna be a fun team to watch for the next 4 or 5 years, as long as LeBron James doesn't go back there.
What you got, JB?
Oh man, yeah, you guys took it. So I'm gonna go with another team. I'm gonna go out west. I'm gonna go with definitely Cleveland. Cleveland would be my pick out east. I'm gonna go with Memphis, man. I think what Memphis has done thus far this year has been very, very impressive from the standpoint of they've had a lot of injuries. Ja Morant's missed substantial time. Dylan Brooks has missed substantial time. Jaren Jackson still doesn't look right, and you have to hope if you're a Memphis fan that he gets together, because I think he's the missing piece from the team being just like a good team that makes the playoffs to a team that could be potentially elite. So, I mean, I'm really, really impressed with Memphis. They have a good coach. They've done a really good job with their player development or whatever. I understand the move of them trading Valanciunas for Steven Adams, because Steven Adams is a better defender, and that's worked out so far pretty good for them so far. So yeah, I'm really impressed with Memphis, and I also have to say Golden State, man. Like, look, I think I when I was doing my preseason projections, like I had Golden State as like maybe like a 48, 49 win team. Golden State's going to easily win like 55, 56 games this year. They could end up winning 60, like with just what they've done. And you look at what Steph is doing. He's back to like what he was doing in 2015, 2016 when he was MVP. And Draymond Green, man, he looks like a different player, man. Draymond Green looks like he's about 4 or 5 years younger, just the way he's moving around. He's playing with so much more energy. He looks like he lost weight too in the offseason. But like I would say Memphis and Golden State to me out west have been the biggest overachiever, because with Golden State, like all the moves that they made in the offseason have just worked out, man. Otto Porter is working out good for them. Jordan Poole is better than he was last year. Wiggins has another year in the system. Wiggins looks a little better this year. And, at some point they're getting Klay Thompson back. So, very impressive, man.
Yeah, shout out to Otto Porter, Lil Will Chamberlain.
Baby Will.
Bro, like when somebody seen that meme, I like, bro, I cannot unsee this. Right? I cannot unsee this, bro. I was like, yo, this is so wild.
You can't tell me otherwise. That's what we're trying to do. Right. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, and I actually had obviously I had Cleveland, what they're doing, because they were another team that in November they had a hard start, and I figured they had a hard start in 2020. So yeah, and I thought it'd be died down by now, and what they've done now, 19 and 12, solid, like you said, nice. They got the youth and they got the experience. So yeah, this is like what old boy from Michigan, the coach from the University of Richmond, Beeline, John Beeline, John Beeline. Them thugs balling, ain't they? Them thugs balling, ain't they?
Thugs out there balling, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, and like you said, that's and then they're making that switch, obviously with a bigger staff, and then also like you said, Golden State, yeah, they kind of overachieved just the simple fact of coming off the being in the playoffs, because they made the play in but lost.
Right.
So you figure, hey, they might get a little bit better, but like you said, what they done now, and then you look at like what guys like what Jordan Poole is doing. I think he's been balling. Just like you said, everybody, it's their whole combination. And then once they get everybody back, you look at if they get, Wiseman should be back, and then Klay, and get them back at and I like how they kind of progressing. They're not rushing them back, so that's another kind of a good thing. I like what they doing with that, where they really necessarily they need them, but they're gonna like progress them through. Right. They can wait on it, and they keep their chemistry going. And then also another team that's been doing pretty good this year too, that overachieved, was Phoenix. The Phoenix was kind of one of those ones, if we look at it from an NFL sense, where we always look at NBA Finals hangover, I definitely thought Phoenix was going to be kind of one of those teams that was going to have like one of a hangover. And then also, with Booker missing some time, a few weeks ago. So you just look at the fact that they're actually currently, because they're number one in the East. I mean, in the West, because they're 25-5. Mm-hmm. So
they start off 1-3 too. That's the other thing too. Right. I mean, they've been on fire, man. Like I would say right now, not knowing what Clay is going to give them, I would probably make them slight favorites to come out the West.
Yeah, because like you said, even with that, they still, you're hoping that you get Clay,
Yeah.
70-80% of Clay is pretty good, added to
Yeah.
this team here. So yeah, you definitely take that. So before we get into our underachievers,
I'll be right back, y'all.
all right, all good, bro. All right. So before we get into our underachievers, we definitely gotta give a huge shout out to Bet US. They're pretty much they have the fastest payouts in the industry, and they do offer you 125% off. Well, no, 125% sign up bonus when you sign up. So use our promo code off the ball in all caps at sign up. So don't forget to head on to betus.com. Use our promo code off the ball, and you get your 125% sign up bonus. So think about it like this: put 100 in there, they give you $125. Simple math. So, fellas, let's get into that. Let's get into our underachievers, teams that we kind of, at this stretch is our underachievers. I'm going to go with you first, JB. Your underachiever so far.
My underachiever so far. I mean, man, where can I begin, man? I would say I'm going to start in the East. I would say that the Celtics have been kind of underachievers to me. Like, I don't know what's wrong with them, and I don't want to write them off because they do have some high-end talent or whatever, but it's just the kind of games that they lose. Like, they lost a game to San Antonio where they don't score a point the last 3 minutes, and San Antonio ends the game on something like a 15-0 run. It's just something seems off with them, and it seems something has seemed off with them ever since they got back from the bubble. Yeah. So that's one team that I think has been kind of an underachiever. We already kind of delved into like the Lakers and the Hawks, so I'm not going to mention them. Another team that I think has I'm not gonna say a team here. I'm gonna say a player. I've been really disappointed with how Julius Randle has played this year. I think Julius Randle has not played well this year. He's shooting a lot of threes, which I don't think is good for him. He also, I think teams have actually kind of gotten smart because he generally goes to his left and they're defending strong. So, I mean, he just does not look like the same player. I mean, like he was a legit like top 5 finisher in MVP last year. I don't even think that he's an all NBA player this year. I don't think that you can put him on a first team, second tier, or third team at the moment right now. So he's been a big time underachiever to me, Julius Randle. And yeah, and I would also say out west, I would say the Mavericks. Now, the thing about the Mavericks that I think is really interesting is that like I think that they gave the wrong guy the coaching job. Jason Kidd's not a good coach. I'm sorry, he's not. I mean, I understand that he's one of the best point guards of all time, but he's just not a good coach. Remember when Dallas used to actually have a good offense when Rick Carlisle was there with the same personnel, and now it just seems like they struggle to score the basketball, and it's kind of like, yeah, man. Dallas to me has been kind of a big disappointment. Do you think that Rick Carlisle like did this on purpose? Because he actually. The whole Jamal Mosley thing, I felt bad for him because I think that he saw Jamal Mosley as a threat because Jamal Mosley was really close to Luka. And he just tells Mark Cuban on his way out, like, Mark, you should really hire Jason Kidd, man. I think he's the right man for the job. Do you think that Rick Carlisle just fucked the Mavericks over on purpose, knowing that Jason Kidd was going to fuck them over? Do you think Rick Carlisle did that? I think that there's a chance that he did it. Me and my friend were talking about, I just honestly think that, like, Rick Carlisle was like, man, I don't like how this ended. I'm just going to, even though I won a championship with these guys, I'm gonna screw them up. Yeah, Mark, hire Jason Kidd if you know he's the right man for the job. Right. And Rick Carlisle's probably like in Indiana right now laughing.
Exactly. But you know what's funny, because we talked about that, because remember when Jason Kidd was in Milwaukee, and we used to talk about this all the time, like how as far as offense being vanilla and pretty much old fashioned. We talked about it even back in the day. You see how, remember, they were like an 8th, 7th seed, kind of like on the verge of a playoff team back then. And now look what they're doing now, which
I know.
I'm sorry to say.
Mr. DUI.
Yeah. So
he probably comes up with good offensive sets when he's drinking. He probably is like one of those like really creative drinkers. He's just like, oh man, this is good. I'm gonna do this in the game.
Yeah.
So he probably does that when he's drinking. So yeah, no, Budenholzer was a good. Budenholzer is a really good offensive coach. It's just like a lot of the stuff that he does.
Yeah. And like we said, even back then, like, yeah, that wasn't a good fit. But yeah, so Fresh, what you're underachiever. This I spelled underachiever wrong. Lord have mercy. See, that's how when you doing graphics at like 6 o'clock in the morning. This is what happens. Oh my God. I just realized I misspelled achiever.
It's all right. We're gonna make it a new category.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that Rick Carlisle point won't be too crazy because they said that he had a little rift with Cuban over drafted Dennis Smith Jr. It was reported that he didn't want him, so he kind of sabotaged some things after that. So I don't know. But Rick Carlisle is part of my underachievers. Honestly, it's really the Pacers. Like I didn't expect them to be a championship contender, but the Pacers they're like at the bottom of the East right now, which a winning streak could help that. And they're missing T.J. Warren, but overall they've had Brogdon, they've had Sabonis. LeVert has been in or out, but I didn't expect them to be as bad as they are. So Indiana and Dallas for sure. A lot of people have talked about Zion's weight issue, but Luka's gotten huge over his 4 years in the NBA also. So the team has just made bad move after bad move. They traded Steph Curry for Josh Richardson for some reason. Steph Curry has only gotten better. They paid Tim Hardaway, and Tim Hardaway never plays well after he gets paid. They haven't really added to the team, so that Dallas has just been weird, and a lot of people have started crowning Luka the best player in the NBA, or thought that he was going to make it known that he was the best player in the league this year, and that just really hasn't happened. So Dallas and Indiana have both been underachievers to me, but like you said, you could say the Lakers, you could say the Hawks, you could say the Knicks this year. I agree with that Celtics thing. I think the Celtics have been a weird situation overall because Brad Stevens was just given the president of basketball operations job for some reason, like he won a championship or something. I never understood why he just was given that job, but I mean, they still have the same issues that they've always had. They don't have a point guard. Marcus Smart is a starting point guard. They traded Kemba for Al Horford, which, I mean, Al Horford isn't bad, but it hasn't really helped them either. Their bench is terrible so far right now. They're playing Pritchard and Romeo Langford. And
Pritchard's been dogging it this year. He's like, last time I checked, he was like shooting 34% from the field. Yeah.
He left all his points in Portland when he scored 90 in the Pro-Am up there. Because I don't think he scored 90 points combined all year. So the Celtics have been they've been a weird situation, especially because you do have Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So it's like those are good building blocks. So, but yeah, it's been a few different underachievers throughout the league.
Yeah. It's a few, like you said, especially like we talked about like Indiana. I definitely thought they were gonna be kind of a team, like you said, at least above 500, like kind of hovering, but they 13-19. Actually, a team that's similar record-wise, 13-19. The Portland Trailblazers is literally Rip City, literally. There, where it's just like it's to a point. I feel so bad for Chauncey Billups, and just and that necessarily, I hate that. I'm gonna take that back because he kind of caught this on himself too. So a lot of it kind of is doing as well.
And they fired their GM too, or whatever. No O'Shea. Like, so I mean, like,
and then Dame want $50 million a year. There's a lot of stuff going on there, and then obviously with CJ McCollum injured, his the lung situation. And just the fact that they're 13-19, they're another team that even if the season ended today, they wouldn't even make the play-in. So, that's a disappointing team. Yeah,
and they got destroyed by New Orleans last night too, minus Zion and his 330 pounds. I'm a New Orleans Pelicans fan, so I've been making a lot of like Zion fat jokes recently. So
He gonna be all right. When he get on his feet, he gonna lose that weight.
He looks like he's like trying out for like the New Orleans Saints. I mean,
bro,
recently.
Yeah, because when he was at the USC game, I thought he played football for USC for real. When I seen him, I thought he was a offensive lineman. I like that's wild. And then in the East, the New York Knicks. I definitely thought, I'll put it this way. I figured they were going to be a team that was going to probably compete for that 7th, 8th slot or whatever, this and third. But they're 12th in the East. And like you said, a lot of teams, the Kemba Walker experience has failed tremendously. And they, also like Julius Randle, like he hasn't been the same since the playoffs. What did y'all do to that boy? What y'all do?
I mean, I blame Thibs, man. Thibs played him like 42 minutes a game.
Oh, he'll run you. Oh yeah, we know. Yeah, we know he'll run you. That's the he'll run you to the ground.
Yeah. So, yeah. Derrick Rose has had all these knee surgeries. You know what we should do? We should play him 45 minutes a game.
But yeah, you think about a lot of those guys, like especially those Bulls players back in the day.
Right.
Yeah, we
all playing 40.
You look at
they
it
all
now.
hurting right now. Jimmy,
bro.
Right, Jimmy the last valve.
Taj Gibson, I'm surprised he's still in the league, man. Like every time I look at him, I'm like, man, yeah. Poor Joakim Noah was never the same after he won Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, shout out to that's it's crazy, but yeah, man, it is a trip. Like you look at these teams, and what we kind of thought they were going to be at a certain point in the season, and they really haven't lived up to that expectation. Right. So, fellas, one more final topic before we head on out tonight. I need a hot take for the month of January. What's going to happen in the beginning in the top of 2022? It's hard to say that because now 2022, like, oh my god, like.
All right, I got a hot take. Hot take is
all right.
Hot take is Clay comes back healthy, and the Warriors don't lose a game in January. That's
okay.
Right now.
Okay. All right, you got one, JB? A hot take for January?
Oh, hot take for January. My hot take for January is that the Heat weathered the storm. The Heat weathered the storm, and by the time they get Jimmy Butler and Bound back, they're in prime position to get the number 1 seed in the East. One more hot take too. My other hot take, DeRozan keeps on playing well, and he ends up being an MVP finalist.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, Miles, I think the Bulls gonna keep doing their thing. I think they're gonna, by the end of January, they will claim that top spot in the Eastern Conference.
Right there.
And shout once again, shout out to Kobe White. Shout out to nephew for that dunk on LeBron. I was like, oh
yeah, he's like, LeBron got to come get this one.
I was like, oh, bro, I'm telling you, I got so hyped when I seen that. I was like, dog. I was like, yo, this is wild. Yeah, I was like, don't trade little Kobe away now. Don't do that. Don't do that to me. I need that for that. But yeah. So, fellas, let's put a bow on this week's Couch Coach Live, the December NBA progress report. So, I'm going to go around the horn. Social media, upcoming projects, what you got? JB, what you got?
I have no social media at the moment. I feel like every time I come on here, I keep on saying I'm going to, okay, all right, the next time I come on the show, I'll have an Instagram, but at the moment, I'm not on Facebook. I'm just chilling. I'm living my best life without social media.
Yeah, Fresh. What you guys got going?
Just want everybody to go to the YouTube, follow the YouTube page, and search the Hoopers Pod on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter at Hoopers Pod. Of course, every Monday we're on at 3 p.m. on the Nothing But Net channel through the Dash Radio app. And every Wednesday, we catch us on the halftime app at 6 p.m. for the Hoopers room.
Yeah, man, I definitely need to get back on there, especially now. Yeah, on Wednesdays, I gotta remember to do that. And like I said, I have neglected halftime, like, and it's so sad. But
Yeah,
that's gonna be my New Year's resolution.
the halftime. Yeah, we
Yeah,
going strong every Wednesday, so we always put together just like 30-minute room. We're not in there too long. Just
yeah,
talk
yeah,
some stuff and get out of there.
yeah. Oh wow, a lot of stuff going on. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram on the Couch Coach Live. Check out the podcast on anywhere you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, you name it, we're there. We got a Christmas Day special at 10 a.m. We'll previewing the Christmas Day games. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be Christmas Day at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's see. So Couch Coach Live business is done. The that one's done. Then now we got the Washington Football Guys podcast on Friday nights. This Friday we won't be on. This Friday we'll be on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me and my guy Rob from the Football and Chill podcast will be there to do the pregame. See you Sunday. Our NFL preview show. That's actually gonna be this Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Christmas. And I think, and then Overreaction Monday, Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, that's it for me. I had to think about it. Like I need to write this stuff down. I write everything else down. Do I? Yeah, it's just right. And but hey, it's fun though.
Exactly,
that's the good thing about it, right? It's the fun thing, and yeah, most definitely. So that, and then yeah, that's just everything for that's concerned. But yeah, man. So once again, appreciate you fellas coming on tonight for this week's Couch Coach Live, man. And this is the last Couch Coach Live before Christmas. Obviously we do the Christmas show and on Saturday. But yeah, definitely once again, everybody who's listening, have a Merry Christmas, have a safe, enjoy this holiday with your friends and family, and enjoy every moment of it. And yeah. So for the fellas, man, this has been this week's Couch Coach Live, man. We will catch you guys next week, and we are out.
All right, later.